Hi guys, welcome to the 5th Mental Monday. So obviously this is a little different than the rest of the Mental Monday videos have been. I thought I would do this week's a little more relaxed, a little more casual, so we're doing it vlog style. This week's topic that I wanted to talk about is actually pretty heavy, much heavier than the other topics have been, or at least I hope so. This week I wanted to talk about grief. 3.5 years ago, I went to Mexico with Andrew to visit his family as his girlfriend for the first time. They were in Mexico as missionaries at the time, and they lived on this really cool ranch running everything there, and so we went to visit them, and it was gonna be for Thanksgiving. We left early Friday morning, got there Friday night. Saturday we just kind of recuperated and relaxed. Sunday morning we went to church. As soon as we got out of the church service, both his parents' cell phones had missed calls and voicemails from my mom and my aunt. For my mom to do that isn't weird. For my aunt to do that scared me. And at the time, my grandfather, who has now since passed away, was not in great health. I called my mom's phone and my aunt picked up. Right at the minute she picked up, Andrew's dad heard her voicemail saying, "Do not have Brooke call. Somebody else needs to call first." So that didn't happen. I get on the phone with her. She says, "Honey, is Andrew there?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "Yes, why? Just tell me what happened." She said Brandon was in a car accident and he died instantly. I almost crumbled. Brandon is my older brother. I have 3 siblings. He was the next one up from me, and I'm the baby. As soon as I heard that, I fell. If Andrew had not been standing as close to me as he was, I would have hit the ground. I buried my face in his chest and was crying my eyes out. My mom had gotten on the phone and she talked to him, but she didn't actually say what happened. She just said, "Just get her home safe and take care of her." She was a mess too. And so as soon as he hung up, he goes, "What happened?" So I choked out, barely audible, into his chest, "My brother died." I could hear everybody behind me gathered around, and all of them go, "What?" And he just goes, "Oh my gosh." He had understood it and he knew. So then that started the week of coming home, spending a week at my parents' house, and then figuring out all of the arrangements. Andrew flew back with me and stayed as long as he could, and he got me through everything. Between him and God, I would not have survived those week and a half, 2 weeks without them. I lost my grandma when I was in high school, and that was very hard on me because I was extremely close with her. She was like another mom to me. I spent a ton of time out at their house, but losing my brother was probably the hardest thing I've ever gone through. It rocked my foundation as far as trust went. The last Mental Monday video, I said that losing my brother was something that made my anxiety get worse, and that was very much the case. I, for a while, was not only trying to process the fact that this was reality, that my brother wasn't gonna be here anymore, but I also had to deal with the emotional pain of it. And there was a lot of time spent worrying about losing other people or something else bad happening. And ever since then, I have not only been a worrier like I have my whole life, but I've had panic attacks. That's the hardest. I think dealing with grief, the way it changes your thinking is the hardest thing to struggle through, because you remember that emotional pain and you never want to feel that again. There were some good ways I found to help and to kind of ease myself into the fact that he wasn't here anymore. Funnily enough, I actually took a grief and loss class about 3-4 months after he died, so that was fun. I actually learned a ton and I got to talk about everything, so that was good in a way. And I did go to grief counseling for a while. It helped me not only with losing him and processing that, but also other stuff that had already been there before losing him. So it's good all around. The biggest way I found that I knew would be important to me, that I hadn't actually realized how important, I don't think, was doing stuff to remember him. Stuff like going to the cemetery and visiting his gravestone. I made a mix CD of a bunch of songs that he liked. On the 1-year anniversary, we actually wrote messages on balloons and went to the cemetery and released them. So that was really cool. In the grief and loss class I took, we actually made memorial rocks. So I did one for him and I did one for my grandma, and it was very cool. The thing that's the most helpful about stuff like that is you slowly become comforted by thinking about them and recalling all those memories with them instead of being re-traumatized by it. There were a lot of major life events that happened after Brandon died that were very hard for me to not have him at. I graduated college, which he was a major advocate for me in school. I knew he would have been the loudest one in the crowd when I walked that stage if he had been there. So that was really hard for me to have him have been such a cheer section for me with it for so long and then not be there to see me graduate. The other thing is I got married. Andrew had my other 2 brothers as groomsmen, and the hardest part was knowing that he would have been one if he had been there. Losing the memories of having him at my wedding. Thinking a little farther into the future, he'll never meet my kids. He won't get to be uncle. I'll tell them about Uncle Brandon, and that makes me really sad as well, because he was amazing with our nephews. Grief can change things in so many ways. I know I've probably only partially dealt with losing my brother due to a combination of just life and other stuff happening. 2.5 years later, we lost my grandfather. That kind of mixed with I'm good at keeping things inside made it so while I did do processing, I have not dealt with every ramification. I still have anxiety I'm dealing with. I still have trouble letting things go and not worrying. That has gotten so much worse. And just being able to deal with the things in life that come when you get knocked down that badly. It's hard to get back up and deal with anything else because you do not feel strong enough. The other aspect of grief is your faith. I know I'm not quiet about being a Christian and believing in God and Jesus, and like I said, if I did not have God and Andrew those 2 weeks, I don't know how I would have survived. I don't think I would have. The first night of knowing he was gone, I woke up screaming at the ceiling at him because I was so mad at him, just due to circumstances surrounding everything that happened. I prayed and I talked to God about the fact that he could have saved him. I knew I would never fully understand his plan or reasoning, and that whatever it was good, but that I needed a little help understanding somewhat just to wrap my brain around everything that happened. Just being able to turn to God with it helped so much. There was so much that he brought to mind that I on my own would not see, and that helped. Being able to go to God with it was probably the biggest step I took to being able to actually face what was going on. So all of those things combined are really what helped me, and that was my experience. I know with my grandma, it was similar yet different. It's always a new experience. It's always a new loss. A different person is a different part of your life and a different thing that you're losing. And it's never easy. I hope this video helped, and if you guys have any ideas for remembering a loved one that you lost or ways of processing and going through grief, I would love to hear them. And if you have a lost story that you would like to share, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I am really impressed with myself that I got through this video without crying, probably because of how many times I've been interrupted trying to make it. But I hope this video helped you guys in some way. Please like it if it did, and please share it to help others that might be going through grief or processing a loss they had. Make sure you hit subscribe so you can see the next video, and I will see you guys in that one. Bye!